So today's topic, defects of ear. So ear is the sensory organ, so which is useful to hearing process we are taking. Whether the ear is not working into the properly, that condition is called as a defect. The defect is occurs their function. So how the defect is occurs, whether the defect is occurs, what it is happens means, when the ear is not properly working, not properly functioning, that is a status is called as a deafness here. The deafness. So deafness majorly occurs in two categories: conductive deafness and neural sensory deafness here. So conductive deafness and the neural sensory deafness here. So first one is the conductive deafness, whether the conductive parts of ear, so they becomes not properly working, that case the deafness whatever it is forming, that is called as a conductive deafness here. So for example here, the blockage of ear cavities we are taking, the ear canal, the outer, so outer ear we are taking, the ear canals are going to, so blocking by the earwax, that time the detection of the sounds or the identification of the sounds is becomes going to reducing, so that is the one of the conductive deafness here. Conductive deafness, that is a blockage of the ear or the infection. First one is the blockage of ear canals by wax, ear wax here. And the second one is infection. So infection in middle or inner ears. So infection in the middle or the inner ears, rupture of eardrum. So whether the eardrum is becomes ruptured, so that case also we are not going to detecting. Restriction of ossicular movements. Restriction of the ossicular movement, whether the ear ossicles, so stapes incus malus, these are not properly articulating, they are not properly moving, so that case also the sensitization is not, the ears are not sensitizing into the sounds here. So these are into the conducting parts. Majorly the conducting pathways, they are not properly working, so that case the deafness is occurs, that is called as a conductive deafness here. The second one is the neural sensory deafness here. So in the case of the neural and the sensory deafness, here the conducting part, it is the conducting part in these people, the conducting part is becomes into the normal, the organs are becomes into the normal, but the sensitization is not properly occurring. So because of organ of Corti, the cells of organ of Corti, they are not properly working, or sensory nerve, that is sensory nerve, so it is not properly forming, or hair follicles of ear, so in organ of Corti, So not properly working. Cortex and corticular path. That is the hearing path we are taking. The hearing path and the cortex regions of the brain, so the sensory regions, the auditory sensory regions, they are not properly working. That case, the deafness is forming. So this is called as a neural and the sensory deafness here. That means the organ of the corti, so it is responsible. The organ of the corti is majorly responsible for to detecting into the sound waves, and those are going to converted as a neural form. Neural sensation is going to conduct in the organ of the cortex. Whether these structures is not properly working, so their inner or the outer hair cells or the hair follicles, they are not properly responding towards into the sound waves. That case, the neurons are not going to start it, they are not sent it into the central nervous system. The sensor nerves, whether the filamentous sensor nerves, that is the auditory nerves we are taking, so they are not properly working. That case also there is no recognition, and the cortex or the corticular pathways, that is these neural pathways are not properly working. That case also the sounds are not going to detect. So these are all comes under the neural sensory deafnesses here. So these are the two ways the deafness is going to occur in case of organism. So humans we are taking. So this is the deafness. Then organ of equilibrium. Ear not only conducting recognition of the sounds, it is not only for the sound recognition, identification of sounds, not only the sounds, it is also act as a equilibrium organ. So that means the body posture is becomes maintaining by the ears only. How it is, whether you are seeing the structure of ear, whether you are seeing the structure of the ear, so this is into the rough diagram we are taking. So the inner ear structure we are taking, cochlear region, vestibular region. These two regions are present. The cochlear region is responsible for the detection of the sounds. The sounds are going to recognizing. This entire mechanism is carried out into the cochlear region we are. The vestibular region we are taking. The vestibular region is having the tubular structures are presented. The tubular structures are presented and the sac-like structures are presented. Sac-like structures are presented here. So these tubular structures in the sac. First initially we are taking the sac-like structure. So macula, this is a sacula, so sacula structure, utricle structure, this is in the utricle. So these are the two sacs are presented, sacula and the utricle. These two sacs, so these are also filling by the endolymph and the perilymph regions are presented here. Endolymph is presented. So whatever it is presented into the vestibule and the cochlea, these entire the perilymph and the endolymph is also presented in these regions also. Here the utricle and the sacula is the sac-like structure. At the particular portion of the utricle and the sacula we are taking means a sensory receptors are presented. They are called as a macula. So macula receptors are presented. Okay. So macula receptors are mechanoreceptors. These are nothing but as a mechanoreceptors. macular cells are macular region, the mechanoreceptors are present. So these receptors are going to recognizing the position of the head and the body. The body linear movements are going to recognizing by the receptors of the macula. That means the body position, whether it is into the bended or into the right angle, that is recognizing by the receptors which are present at the macula. So in the macular regions of the ventricle and the saccule. And not only that, even though you are taking these tubular structures, so these tubular structures, that the three tubular structures are presented. So anterior, posterior, and the horizontal, that is longitudinal we are taking. So anterior, posterior, and the median tubular structures are presented. All these three tubular structures are right angle to each other. They are arranged into the right angle to each other here. Whether we are taking to this tubular structure, inner they are conducted into the endolymph and is outerly it is covering by the perilymph fluids here. So endolymph is presented innermost and the outer we are taking the perilymph fluid is presented. So membranous labyrinths we are taking, they are going to conducted into these endolymph and the perilymph structures, perilymph conductivity. And these tubular structure, whenever the body's position becomes changes, automatically the endolymph and the perilymph is causing the mechanical pressure or the force on these sensory regions. So what are the sensory regions they are presented? Means their ends of these three tubular structures. So that is anterior, posterior, and the median. So tubular structures we are vestibular tubes we are taking means their one end, the end of these tubular structures, a bulges shaped elevations are presented. These are called as ampulla. Ampullar regions. These ampullar regions on the surface, for example, so this is a tubular structure, their end portion is forming into the like this, a bulges structure is going to form. So this is the ampullar region. This ampullar region, a sensory cells are presented. The concentrated sensory cells are presented. Mechanoreceptor sensory cells are presented. So these sensory cells actually they are going to recognizing the fluid changes. The fluid whenever it is going to forming. So mechanical pressure on this ampullar region. So those pressures are going to recognizing by these receptors. These are called as cristae ampullaris. So cristae of ampullaris here. These cristae of ampullaris, with the help of the cristae of ampullaris, this perilymph and the endolymph pressure is going to recognizing and the body is identifying the position of the, so the central nervous system is identifying the position of the body with the help of these receptors. Olfactory receptor, next one. So olfactory receptors, these sensory receptors are majorly recognizing so the taste and the smell. So these two senses are going to recognizing by the olfactory receptors. So the olfactory receptors, in that too, these receptor cells are present at the olfactory epithelium. So where this olfactory epithelium is surrounded, olfactory epithelium. So we are taking the olfactory epithelium tissue we are taking. So that is the nose or the nasal chamber. So the nose or the nasal chamber. The nasal chamber is internally is covering by the olfactory epithelium only. This olfactory epithelium you are taking, this epithelium is constructed by the three types of the cells. They are head cells, supporting cells, olfactory glands. So these hair cells in the olfactory glands and basal cells. The basal cells, so basal cells, supporting cells and the olfactory gland cells. So these three types of the cells are going to construct this olfactory epithelium. So whether you are taking the nasal chamber, so this is the nasal chamber. The lower side of the nasal chamber, that is olfactory epithelium. So suppose it is olfactory epithelium, the lower side of the olfactory epithelium is covering by a thin membrane of the mucus here. So it is going to covering by a thin membrane, not it is a thick, it is a thin membrane of mucus here. This thin membrane of the mucus is going to secreted by the supporting cells and the olfactory glandular cells. These two cells are going to secreting into the mucus here. And the above, on the above of the epithelium, that is the roof of this nasal chamber we are taking, on the above of the olfactory epithelium, this is connected by the olfactory glands and the connective tissue. Here it is covering by it is connective tissue. So and glandular cells. So glandular cells. So these two are going to covering the epithelium. So like this, the arrangement will be there, the nasal chambers. And these olfactory epithelial cells are the olfactory sensory receptors we are taking. Mostly these are going to recognizing the chemicals which are dissolves in water. Airborne chemicals they are going to recognizing. That means the smelling process we are taking, the smell, the nose, the major function of the nasal chamber, the olfactory epithelium is smelling of the different smells they are going to recognizing by the nasal chamber. How it is means airborne chemicals. Airborne, so chemicals are going to recognizing by these olfactory epithelial receptors here. How they are means whatever it is dissolved chemicals are presented. These smells we are taking means they are the dissolved, the fluid dissolved chemical components, those are going to recognizing the olfactory epithelium. So from there to, once they are going to recognizing the olfactory epithelial cells, like this the arrangement will be there. So once the smell is enters, the air is enters into the nasal chamber, the mucous membrane is going to dissolve into these chemical substances and they are going to recognizing the epithelial tissue. From this epithelial tissue to, so these are going to connected by the number of neural fibers. A filamentous neural fibers are going to forming. So all these neural fibers together, these are not having any axon, any myelin sheet into their axon. So the non-myelinated axon is going to forming a thin fibrous or the neural structure is forming. A fibrous neural structure is forming. So this is called as a first. So this is going to distribute into the olfactory lobes. Olfactory lobes of central nervous system. It is going to reach us into the olfactory. So that means here whatever the nerve is going to started in the olfactory chamber, so that is going to connected with the central nervous system. So they are forming into the synapses between the nerves of the olfactory lobes and as well as the olfactory receptors. Like this, whatever the stimulations they are going to conduct it, they are going to recognizing. From here to the signals are going to the central nervous system, CNS, and the CNS is going to recognizing, so these smells here. So these are called as a chemoreceptors. These receptors are act as a chemoreceptors here. So like this, the smelling is occurs. So through the olfactory lobes and the olfactory path, so they are going to reach us into the sensory region of the central nervous system. So there the recognition and analyzation is going to occur. This is the smelling process we are taking. Next, the taste. These olfactory receptors are going to recognizing the taste also. So here the taste is called as a gestating receptors here. Gestatory receptors. So gestatory receptors. The gestation means so taste here. So this tasting process we are taking, how it is occur. These receptors where they are so distributed means the receptor, the gestatory receptors are distributed in the oral cavity, so soft, palate, larynx, epiglottis, and cheeks, etc. So these are into the inner side of the oral cavity. These are all parts into the inner side of the oral cavity. So all these parts are going to distributed into these gestatory receptors are presented. So whether you are taking the tongue surface, on the surface of the tongue, there are the numerous number of different categories the different number different types of these gustatory receptors are going to form. How they are means whether you are find out or whether you are taking into the structure of the tongue, there are so many numerous in the number and the differently the elevations are going to distributed on tongue surface. Generally these elevations are called as a papillae. So papilla. So papillary elevations are going to a bud shaped structures are going to form. Elevations are going to form. So each papillae, so these are the different forms of the papillae. So at each papillae, so they are going to distributed on the surface and the margin the different places of the tongue. And each one is having into the 5 to 100 taste buds are present. So each papillae contains 5 to 100 taste buds based on the papillae so nature. So these are going to distribute the taste buds. 5 to 100 taste buds are present. The each taste bud is going to recognizing as a receptor here. So the receptor cells are going to connected with these taste buds through their hair. So whether you are taking the gestating receptors, these are going to look like as a ball-like structure. Here also we are taking gestating receptor cells are presented. Receptor cells are presented. So this is the gestating receptor taste bud cell. Taking receptors or cells are presented, and here gestatory receptor hair projections are they are going to embedded out and distributing into the surface of the epithelium. So this is into the surface of the epithelium, gestatory epithelium here. So these hair projections are going to distributed and continues into the surface of the epithelium, and here these are going to opens into the externally by a pore is called as a gestatory pore. Through the gestatory pore on the upper side of the gestatory receptor cells, the hair projections are going to opens, and these projections continuously bathed with the saliva. So like this, whenever we are taking into the food material, in that whatever the chemicals they are presented, so they are dissolved into the saliva, and along with the saliva, these are going to recognizing these gestatory hairs, hair follicles or hair projections are going to recognizing. Those are going to conducted those sensizations are going to conducted into the gustatory receptor cells, and here it is going to connected with the neural fibers. This neural fiber is going to take into the central nervous system, CNS, central nervous system. The skin, it is the largest sensory organ in the world. It is the largest sensory organ in the world. So the skin microscopic. So microscopic. So a numerous number, millions and the millions of microscopic receptor cells are distributed in the skin surface we are going to take. So that only the skin itself is acting as a larger sense organ. Generally, what are the senses are going to conduct it? So this skin at the sensory organ means generally contact, pressure, temperature, touch, so etc. etc. These are all the senses are going to conducted by these receptors. These receptors are going to recognizing into the all these sensitivities here, whether they are into the minute or whether they are into the stronger. So they are going to recognizing here. Then we are taking what type of the receptors are going to presented in this sensory organs and the skin surface we are taking means. So there the different types of receptor cells are presented. So those are we are taking the 6 types of the receptor cells. So they are tactile Merkel disc receptors, hair follicle receptors, so Meissner corpuscle receptors, so Pacinian receptors, Refinus ending receptors, and the Curious end bulb receptors. So one by one. So first one is the tactile Merkel disc receptors. This Merkel disc receptor, the tactile receptors you are taking. So they are going to recognizing the light pressure they are going to recognize. So when we are going to apply into the light pressure, that pressure is going to recognizing the tactile Merkel receptor. So where these are going to distributed, these are distributed into the dermis region here. The below the dermis region, these are going to distribute and these are going to recognize in the light pressure. And the hair follicle receptors you are taking. So these hair follicle receptors, so where these are distributed, in case of the hair, the skin hair follicles, so this is into the skin hair follicle. So around the skin hair follicle, the receptor cells are going to distribute it, because the hair follicles also going to act as a light sensitivity receptors. So to recognizing into those sensations, the receptor cells are distributed into the around this hair follicle, around the follicles of the hair. So these are called as a hair follicle receptor. So these two majorly recognizing the light pressure at the contact, light pressure and the contact. And the Meissner's, so these are going to recognizing the contact, light, contact and the pressure. And the Meissner's receptors, Meissner's corpuscles we are taking. So these are also pressure receptors. So majorly these tactile receptor, the hair follicle receptors are light pressure and the contact here. Majorly these are acting for the contact. When we are going to touch us, that time these are going to. And the pressures are going to recognizing with the Meissner's corpuscles we are taking. These are also going to distributed into the lower region of, that is a deeper region of the epidermis here, the inner regions of the epidermis. So then next one is a Pacinian corpuscles we are taking. So these are into the larger egg-shaped cells are going to forming. The larger egg-shaped cells are going to forming. The major pressure, that is into the severe pressure, is going to recognizing. So texture, pain, and the pressure is going to recognizing the Pacchian corpuscle receptors only. So these are the major receptors which are going to distributed into the deeper layers of the skin. Then the Ruffinian endings and the Corus endings we are taking. So the Ruffiner endings we are taking. A continuous pressure is going to recognizing. A continuous pressure is going to recognizing with the Ruffinus endings here. Continuous pressure. So generally these are the structures somewhat bulge, flattened bulges structures are presented, and whenever the continuous pressure is going to applied on the skin, that is going to recognize with the roughness endings here, and these are going to distributed into the fingertips and as well as the AD of the foot of the AD. So there they are going to distribute it. And the Corus end bulbs we are taking means these are going to recognizing the temperature. So temperatures, the variations into the temperature they are going to recognizing by the Corus end bulbs. These are majorly distributed into the fingertips here.